Mhm.
Good morning. Today is Tuesday, July 19th, 2022. The time is now 9 a.m. I'm Kevin Day, Chair of the Custer County Board of Commissioners, and I will call this meeting of the Board of Commissioners to order. If you have a cell phone, please make sure they are silenced at this time. If you would please join me for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kelly, could we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Day,
Present.
Commissioner Kanda.
Here.
Commissioner Fowler,
Present.
Attorney Clint Smith,
Are able to make it
absent,
today. Yeah.
and Clerk to the Board Kelly Camper present.
Okay, and if we could get audience introductions, we'll start right here with you.
I'm Jennifer Crane.
Brady Wilson, Director of Finance HR.
Dorothy Carson, BOCC admin.
All right.
KRI.
And on our agenda today, we do have consideration of hiring planning and zoning director. So, Brayden, do you, what's that?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if you wanted to give it.
Here, would you like to come up?
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good
How are you?
morning. Doing well. How are you all
I'm
doing?
well, thank you.
Well, good. You got through the rodeo week.
Got through the rodeo week, and that was gonna be my first question.
And you
And
involved in that, or-
any burns from grilling or anything
Yes.
like that?
1,000 burgers, 250 hot dogs.
Oh, nice. Sounds like burgers are preferable to hot dogs, huh? No, I didn't get to make it out. A lot of work at the house this weekend. So, yeah. It's nice to have a little bit more than subflooring, but we're not totally there yet. So.
Thank you, sir.
Which is great.
Giving these back for reference here.
I was hoping you would.
Good. All right, so I guess just to recap for public record, Thursday we had interviews for candidates, and during that time we went through, read the same questions to each candidate and scored those, and we all made notes on those. I guess each of you did anyway. Kristen Maloney was part of that, and she, given that her work in the assessor's office is very closely related to Director of Planning and Zoning, thought it was apropos to have her in here for that. I'm not sure what that means, but I know people say it that way, so.
Appropriate, huh?
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah, perfect. So anyway, I've given you back the notes that each of you made on those things, and I will let the discussion ensue, I suppose.
Okay, all right, we'll open that up for discussion now at that time then. So discussion, gentlemen.
We want to move to nominate one, or do we just want to discuss it first?
I suppose I would be open to either, but I would entertain probably discussion preferably.
All right, sorry. I liked both candidates that we had. We had three. I guess one failed the test. So not failed the test, but didn't test. So anyway, the candidates we had, I thought both were really very good, very professional. But I think candidate C is a bit stronger from a business point of view, and some other things that I looked at, job experience. And it was a tough call, but I'm leaning toward. Let's see.
Far.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting interview process. I think both candidates qualified, had good interviews, two different personalities, perspectives, backgrounds, that kind of thing. So I thought that was interesting as well. Obviously, both candidates are here this morning. I want to thank them again for
Were you a candidate?
interviewing. Might as well address the elephant in the room, right? Everybody's kind of freaked out this morning, so I don't think either one of you probably knew that, so that being as it is, but appreciated the candidates interested in applying for that position. I think through our question and answer period, we did discuss and probably all agree that this will be a difficult, challenging transitional period. I believe both candidates are up for that. So a lot of eyes will be on this whole thing in the next 30 to 60 days. And I just think it's going to be a critical hire. And hopefully we can move forward, get up and running and be successful as we move forward. So I am prepared to make a decision today.
I would agree with that. Both of these candidates, I felt, were capable of taking on this role. And they are both different. They have strengths in one area or the other. Some of them overlap between candidates. But they are two totally different candidates. And I felt both did an excellent job during the interview process. And I would agree with your statement, sir, that this is going to be a challenge for whomever goes in for a short time. And I might note as well that part of our discussions have also been to try to get some additional training for whoever gets into that position. So it's just because of the fact of the nature of it and so many different things, and so many things that have to happen right away as well. So I would speak to that as well. My scoring sheets are pretty close to each other. So that being said, whomever is not selected today, it is not a reflection on anything whatsoever, because I feel that both candidates did a fine job and both candidates are fully capable of stepping into that role. Sure.
And I think just to speak to that, looking at a composite score among 4 people that were interviewing and a total of 220 points, there was only an 8-point difference between the 2 candidates. So really close.
And that speaks highly of both of you. So I would say that. So if there is no other discussion, I would probably entertain a motion.
I move we select candidate C.
I will second that.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor to accept candidate C for the position of Director of Planning and Zoning. Further discussion at this time.
Yeah, I would also add that I thought the score sheet for me was relatively close. Lot. I struggled with this whole thing mostly with this seed plan in the back of my mind about whoever we offer the position to is gonna come with some baggage for you. It's just gonna be an uphill climb. We have to get, I don't think we have to be involved, but we have to certainly be willing to support this position with whatever we have to do, whether it's close the office for a couple of days, continue that 2 to 4 closure for a while, whatever it takes, I'm willing to do that. Even though I know it may be an inconvenience to some people in the community, but I just think we have to make some sacrifices to get this thing right, so. We'll just have to see how that fleshes out as we go along.
I agree. Because of so many different things, and some things will come a lot easier than others and won't be an issue, but we do need to make sure that we provide the support we can. Because it is a critical role, critical office.
I agree. And given you're worrying about being one deep, we got an opportunity to maybe enlarge this office a little bit more. We know where we can get another candidate
Yeah.
to help do what we do in the future.
And I am assuming that the motion and the second also included as far as the posted start date and salary.
Yes, that
That's what
would,
I assumed.
Say the start date was, there's not necessarily.
yeah, we didn't
posted
really have.
start
I'd
We
date.
just
say
said
as
as soon as
Start
possible.
date, I
soon as
think, was
possible,
discussion
that's what we.
during the interview.
Salary and position is it's in the job description.
With a soon as possible start date.
So are you wanting the salary in the motion?
No,
I would say probably just
At the posting
at the post salary.
salary.
That way we're
Job
clear on
description.
that when we vote.
that was why they agreed to send in an application.
Any other discussion, gentlemen?
I would assume we would task Wilson to
Contact
try to get a hold of the people and see if we can get an answer. but
as soon as possible, will you?
Are you ladies feeling as weird about this as I am?
So
Get it over with.
I would note that both candidates will be present in the room so that you do not have to exit. Make
You just turn around and say, what date can you start?
Yeah. Why would you bring up that?
Just so we point that out
Yeah,
in case you're not,
So,
you know.
that's kind of an inside joke as to when we hired our administrative assistant in Wetmore. So
Yeah, almost, except that was a surprise.
Yeah.
I had no clue. Who's that candidate?
That was legitimate.
Braden walked right past Dorothy to go outside to try to call her.
Did not see her.
Oh, my goodness.
So he was unable to reach her.
You can't get hold of her. That's because she's right there.
All right. Any other discussion? Good. Okay. All those in favor of accepting candidate C for the position of Director of Planning and Zoning at the posted, as per the posted job description. How's that? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. So
Do we want to take a moment to step outside, or do you want me to turn around?
I'm good with you turning around.
All right.
Yeah.
Dorothy, congratulations.
You were candidate C.
Well, thank you for entertaining.
Did a good job.
We will, I'm assuming, be posting for an admin assistant job
Isn't it out already?
fairly quickly. So,
So, and
So when can you start?
well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So-
You bet.
And I would
Thank you.
reiterate that you guys did score very close together. And it's not anything that was done wrong by you or said wrong or anything like that. It just, you guys were
Laid out.
both totally different's not quite the right word, but you both had strengths and weaknesses
In different areas.
in different areas.
I
And
believe that.
Thank you. For your interest.
And I'll keep an eye out for other things.
Yeah.
so,
So,
Well, I just mentioned the need for an administrative assistant just off of the cuff.
Hey.
But hey.
well, what does it pay?
That's right. Yeah,
Well, you three seem like you're kind of fun to work around, so.
well.
we have our moments.
We do.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you for your confidence in me, and I appreciate that. I know I have big shoes to fill, and I'll do everything that I can to meet your expectation and hopefully exceed it. So, thank you.
Good, good.
thank you.
So you have to work at least until we're done. Thank you. Jennifer. Thanks for
Well,
coming
thank
in, too.
you. Thank
Appreciate it.
you. I
It's
appreciate
nice to
y'all.
have you.
Yes, thank you.
Spend
Thank
time
you.
with
Keep in touch.
I will. And thank you so much.
Morning, Dr. Brown. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate your help on that. Absolutely. Yes, please.
Okay. Our next item on the agenda, excuse me, is consideration of transfer of funds for the airport. I think you're up again, sir.
Oh,
Good thing you came to this
Morning,
meeting.
everyone. Thank you so much.
It's so nice to see you. How was your
We're gonna
weekend?
get our exercises in today.
Yeah.
You send us anything?
I did not. did
You have a
I
hard
sent it.
copy.
Oh, you did?
You have it.
Oh, is there a card copy somewhere?
Yeah, you
Probably
did have
under
one.
your agenda.
Should be with your
No,
agenda.
the agenda was all by itself. Oh, there it is. It was so tightly stacked. Thanks.
All right, so the purpose of this is partly so rewind here. During budget process and what we approved, for this year's budget, $36,000 transfer from general fund to the airport fund. We've been talking quite a bit about just how do we get the airport where it needs to be right now and helping with things such as buying fuel, which is at a critical state right now, that situation. And so one, I do want to, I think maybe some things that were said in our last meeting could be construed as mismanagement within the airport. And I just want to say that is not the case. And I apologize if there's anything that I said that made it sound as that was the case. There are some struggles that we've got to work through, but it really is just logistically and procedurally. And so I would hope that the public understands that this is situational, not anything that any one person's done as far as where the airport's at and where the county's at in general. So I just want to make sure that that's absolutely
I'm glad you said that
Yeah.
because I had some people calling. Some mismanagement going out there. Why are they in the red?
right.
It's not the case.
Yeah,
Good.
exactly.
And I may have belabored the point too, and if necessary, I apologize for maybe setting the tone wrong, but I felt that it was critical for those guys to understand within the budgetary process, they were in the hole.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it was mismanaged. It was more of us not getting that money.
It's reflected as being in the hole.
Right.
Right.
That wasn't actually.
Because they do, JC and Dean does a great job of making sure that that he does not overspend the budget. But because of the logistics of everything, you can spend within your budget and not have enough money within the fund. And so that's some of the stuff that we've got to work through. This should help with that. And I think moving forward, looking at a process of when we come to budget time, looking at the airport, if for whatever they can't sustain based on fuel sales, donations, and hangar leases would be what the county needs to plan to give them, which I think in the future, where my mind's right now, we would do that transfer at the beginning of the year. That way this doesn't happen.
Right, they got a budget, they stay in it.
Right.
And if they can't, they come to us and we move it or not.
Yeah, so,
The only thing they hadn't budgeted for was this fuel expense.
right,
Yeah, that was an unexpected expense
right, yeah, exactly.
because of the cost.
Yep. Yeah, and just to speak on that too, it was good to hear, and I did, because I went to the airport meeting that following Thursday from that meeting. And there were a couple things that I didn't feel were necessarily verbalized. One of which, there was some talk about the price of fuel and why was the price of fuel so low necessarily. We learned that, 50 cents is what we do as a markup. I think we're going to look at that as far as, is there a better rule? Is there a set of rules that we can follow to better determine the price? But as the board president there said, that was a strategic move to try to empty this tank
Right.
in order to get the new tank
You have
ready
to pay
to go.
to pump it out.
Right. So
But it worked too well.
it worked too well.
In one fell swoop.
It went empty quick.
Yeah. So anyway, there's I think we could all do good from some better communication. So I just wanted to make sure.
It's
some of
good
those
to
points
point
are
out
brought up.
now also, there is not a problem. They do have fuel and planes are flying.
Yeah.
So that was another perception. How you can have an airport without fuel, but in fact, you don't need fuel to have an airport. The traffic still flows, but you
Right.
just don't buy it up here. So that's
Is-
important to
I was gonna
understand.
say, is the pump still locked?
No,
So they're selling,
yeah, they got some fuel.
oh, they did? Since we met.
Yes,
So we were able to.
they were able to get it and
Partial load.
yes, they did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But
Look, how many gallons do you know?
I don't want to quote it because I'll be wrong, but it was,
Couple thousand?
yeah,
probably.
several thousand.
Wow. Wonder where that good.
They got lucky with a load.
Did they split it or just
Yeah,
get it
they
partial?
split.
Oh, really?
Good news.
Well, that takes some of the heat off
Yeah.
then.
As far as the business goes, it's just to go ahead and realize what we had budgeted for, the $36,000 transfer from general fund to the airport.
I have a question back to the fuel tanks. You were at that last meeting. Was there discussion about when they're gonna get that new tank up and running?
There was discussion, and I think right now the new hangup is the concrete pad. That quote came in significantly higher than I think anyone was expecting. And so from what I understand, they're trying to figure out how they're going to go about the concrete.
So I'm confused, man. I thought they were gonna bring those planes right up to the new tank.
They are, but it has to have a wider apron.
Around by the new tank.
Right.
Oh.
They're modified, so I can't remember what it is, but
Okay. I thought it was just the electrical hookup issue, but it's more than that.
It sounds like, yeah,
Wow. Did they put the fuel in the old tank then?
yeah.
I think so.
Well, I would move we authorize the. Pull it back up so I get the wording right, unless Commissioner Candy would like to do that since he's.
No, it's okay. I'll
back there.
second. That's
I
fine
would
with me.
move to authorize the transfer of $36,000 from general fund to the airport fund
I'll second it.
as was budgeted. Or, yeah, we did budget that, yeah.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor to transfer $36,000 from the county general fund to the airport fund per budgeted funds. Any other discussion, gentlemen?
Just a quick one, this brings us close to, they have a balance in their fund now budget, right? They know what their margin is now, what they're operating in. Because what's gonna come up next is gonna be how we match the fog seal, crack seal grant.
Mhm.
And if, we did ask them to state that, give us a 5% match as opposed to 10%. If it goes 5%, then we're down within what we thought we'd have to match it with in the first place. So that should have been in the budget. Not a big difference. It's only $1,000, $1,500, whatever it is. But anyway, I'll talk to them about it, see where they stand.
Okay. Those in favor then of transferring 36,000 from the Custer County General Fund to the Airport Fund signify by saying aye.
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 And then if I may, Mr. Chair, it's not on the agenda, so we need to be a little careful here, but Commissioner Canada brought up the matching thing. I think that needs to go on an agenda, subsequent agenda.
Soon as we get-
So we can have that conversation.
Yeah, as soon as we know Caitlin's gonna get back to us on what they're gonna do, it'd be pointless to schedule it yet until we know they can make the meeting. But they know we have a 6-week window, so it'll be soon.
And obviously, to me, the question is, where's that money gonna come from?
Right.
Secondly, I've been giving a lot of thought to something else. I want to just throw that out today, just for a little food for thought thing. I would support using some of the ARPA money that we had earmarked for affordable housing or workforce housing. But I would be very adamant that there are strings attached to that money goes back into our ARPA account and not get lost in the wash. I am committed to try to retain those monies so that we can do something with workforce or affordable housing. But I would not be opposed to quote unquote loaning the airport some of that money so they can get this fuel, because without it, we're going backwards.
Yeah,
way
it'll
fast.
improve the
And I think
cash flow out there.
I think they agree that money needs to be returned as soon as possible back into that ARPA account. But again, I think that also needs to be on a subsequent agenda.
So yeah, that's a good point. And that will be on it when we get the deal. But the original budget back in February, they had a $20,000 county match was already planned. And that was a bit more than what they originally had when they were estimating the cost. They were estimates before. These are based on actual contractor bids now. So it happens to be about, I think, 2,000 higher than the original match that they had already had in their budget. So that's why I want to verify what they thought they had for this crack seal project. And Caitlin moved it up because we got some extra, the AWAS got paid off and we got some extra money, but the state had a lot of extra money. So they moved this up and said, here it is, match it. So we got to make sure we know where we're getting it. And I mentioned it before, I like that idea of reimbursing the fund if that's the way it goes. And this is not, I don't remember how much is left over. It's a couple $100,000.
210.
Yeah, and this is gonna be around 19 to 24,000, depending on what the match is gonna be, that would be
Well,
needed. So
Okay.
we'll have to look at it.
As clarification, I'm coming from a position that I'm willing to use the ARPA money for the fuel purchase.
Yeah.
Not for any
I get it.
matching. That's where I'm at. Now, that doesn't mean we can't have a further discussion, but.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I mixed
that's what
both of them up
Okay,
into the
and
same thing.
and
Yeah, I agree with
to
you.
kind of keep
Because
those
that-
separate.
yeah.
Fuel matching for whatever
Right.
other airport business, to me, this is a one-time fund mechanism to get that fuel.
You
put
bet,
in.
and that fuel gets in there and then pays for
That's-
itself and then money can be reimbursed. That's the whole
Right.
point. That's,
Yeah, you had
yeah.
mentioned
And I'm sorry, I
matching,
mixed up the other piece of it.
Okay, all right.
So that has to be on the future agenda as well, both things.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do we want to make a decision about that? I mean, I'm fine with putting the fuel purchase on the 29th agenda.
yeah, we can do that without,
And I don't know anything about the matching thing, so I don't know the timing.
we'll have to wait on that.
I think we ought to get on the fuels.
I think that's fine.
Would it might be advantageous to wait for their report if they do have fuel right now, because I don't know how much fuel they have.
Well, we can still put it on the
Decisions made.
agenda.
Let's
and
just
then
put
if
on
we
the
need to
agenda to
deal with
discuss
we can.
whatever it
Sure.
is it
If we
is.
don't put it on there, then they're gonna be another week or 10 days.
And then we can make a decision to do it, and then it gets reimbursed at whatever the amount is that they've got.
Mhm.
And then, of course, it goes back.
Yeah, they may not need all
That's right.
50 grand now, they might only need X number of dollars. So
Right.
We can have that
Sure.
conversation. But- And you had given us an update on the balance of that ARPA money. I haven't looked it up this morning, but I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know it's over 200,000
Mhm.
Yeah, that's-
because the one rejected grant application was for 200.
yeah, and we agreed to keep it, use it for others.
Okay,
Got it for the agenda.
On the 30th, got it,
Was it 29th or 30th?
or 29th, I'm sorry.
29th, yeah.
Yeah.
And
29th.
then
Yeah.
another question I just want to bring up since we're here, your schedules for the closing tomorrow.
I am at 9 o'clock.
And that's at 9. I didn't have a time written
Yes.
down. Is that over at her office?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
We'll have the check ready for you right after this.
Sweet.
I'll swing by and get it today. So I'll have it.
And that was also ARPA dollars, right?
Yes. Yep, that was approved last year.
Good, well, I'm excited about that too. And I would urge us as commissioners to have a workshop with the affordable housing folks and try to get some muscle back into that effort.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else today, gentlemen?
And for me,
No. Dr. Brown may have, I don't know what's.
what's up?
I'm silent,
Oh,
You just
Okay.
came to watch?
silent observer.
All right. So having nothing else, I will adjourn this meeting at 9:32 a.m.